What are the best lists for real estate wholesaling? Hey, what's going on everyone? Devin Knupp back at you with a brand new video. And in today's video, I might get a few people higher up into the business that might get a little bit upset with me for making this video. But I decided, you know what, I'm just going to give all the golden nuggets away so that way you guys can have an insane amount of value. This, I guess we can call our 3,000 subscriber special. So if you can imagine this is a 3,001, imagine what the 5 or the 10,000 subscriber special video is going to look like. So this one, basically I'm going to cover all of the lists, and I'm going to even tell you guys about a couple of secret lists that people don't want you to know about that are in the business, or they're going to charge you a lot of money for them to even tell you what these lists are, even though they are free to just go get at the county. And so with this, a lot of these lists, you can just go in and get at the county, or there's a couple of websites that you could use to get these, but I'm not gonna kind of break that down. You can just, I'd recommend that you just go find out yourself by going to the county and taking action, because that's what I'm all about on this channel, is you guys going out there and taking massive amounts of action. And if you can't get one of the lists on here, don't worry, some of the other lists are equally as good. I can't tell you which one is the best just because each and every county is a little bit different as far as which list is better, just because maybe some people are hitting it better in your county, or it's starting to get a little bit saturated. So you might want to try and test some of these out. But at the end, I will tell you guys the 2 secret lists, and with those secret lists, you guys can go out there and get them and know that there's not too many people hitting those lists unless this video has like 100,000 views or something like that, which hopefully we can get it to that point. So help me get this video a lot of views. I don't know how long I will hold it up on my channel. I may leave it up forever. I may not, just because I may run into some issues putting up this video. Like I said, people might get a little bit pissed or upset about me making this video. So without any further ado, I'm gonna go over my computer. I've written out basically every single one that I could think of. There's a couple that are just like, you could just define these a little bit better, like just kind of restrict the like the requirements of the list, but that I'll let you guys figure out on your own. I'm just going to give you the names of the list, tell you, kind of describe what they are, give you a little bit of insight where you can get them, and then from there you guys can go do the rest. And then also I'm going to talk about a crazy strategy at the end of this video to basically guarantee that you're working with the hottest motivated sellers inside of your area that are just wanting to give their house away to you at a deep discount because they're so motivated. And I'm going to teach you how to find those people after I go over the list, and it will make more sense at the end of this video. So stay tuned till the end, but I'm going to go over all of the different list types. And so first things first, we have like the kind of general lists. They're usually big lists. This is for people that are like already in the business and have done a couple deals, but they want to expand. They want to do a lot of deals. They want to do big numbers. So you're probably going to be working with some of these bigger lists and working with them that way. So the general lists in this category are, depending on the county obviously, but usually like some sort of absentee owner equity list, and just general equity lists. Basically people that have a large percentage of equity in their house. And if you don't know what equity is simply put the amount of, like, basically they have profit on the house if they were to sell it at like retail value. Now obviously we're not always selling these houses at retail value. Like, we don't want them that high, we want them a lot lower. So what you can do is you can restrict down to them having, like, let's say 40% equity in the house, which basically just means if the house is worth $100,000 and they have 40% equity, they own about 40% of the house, so $40,000. And so if that makes sense for you guys. And so we will probably want 40% or higher. And what that means if they're on this list is that they have numbers to work with. Doesn't necessarily mean they're motivated. There is a slight chance, but there's a higher chance that they at least have numbers to work with and they're not like owing money on the property, which you can still do deals with properties that have super low equity and don't really have margins on it. but those are usually a lot harder to do, and they're either going to be like a short sale or they're going to have to bring money to the table. So maybe I can break that down in another video for you guys, and if you guys want more information on that. So just the general equity list, and then right after that one is the tax delinquency list. This is another big list that a lot of people want you to hit up, and I really recommend it. It's free. You just go to the county and get it. Sometimes it's a lot harder than to get in other counties. Like in my county, they don't give you the addresses. They just give you the parcels. And in one of the counties, the bigger county, they don't even give it to you as a digital file. You have to take pictures of the TV, like the computer, and then go through, and it was like 500 pages. And let's just say it costs a lot of money to be able to get people to go through that list for you and everything. So that one, they may be able to send it as a digital file with all the addresses. And with all these lists, you can either cold call them or send them direct mail or do a combination of both. Or like I said, at the end of the video, I'll tell you guys a better strategy with all these different lists. And so after that, the tax delinquency, that one's a pretty general list. I have a video on my channel on how to get it. I'll put it down below. The next one that I highly recommend you go get is the probates list. And what probates list is basically people that have inherited a property, someone passed away, and then now the law is kind of deciding who gets the property. If it's not, if no one's in will for it, I might be wording this wrong, but if no one's in will for it, then it's basically going through this legal process of figuring out who gets this property. And these people are usually pretty motivated because they just want this property out of their hands. They can't afford the taxes, they can't afford the payments on it, the mortgage, whatever it may be. It's a big burden on some people that are inheriting a property. And so this is a solid list to go out there and target, usually a lot more motivated sellers versus like the tax delinquency or absentee owner. And so the next couple, I wouldn't say they're in any particular order. These are just kind of like smaller lists, higher motivation. And I don't know if you can get them or not inside of your county. This one's kind of like a 50-50 throw up whether or not you can get it. So these are pretty good lists, but I don't know if you can get it. So some of this on the list are garage sales, finding a list of people that are having a garage sale inside of your county. A lot of times you have to register to your county if you're having a garage sale. This isn't obviously the case for every county, so I don't know if you can get this list or not, but it's a good attempt to see if you can do so. And the best way of finding out is just contacting your local county assessor, or like just contacting the county and see if you can find this list. And then on top of that, we got like the divorces list, so people that are going through a divorce. But there's a slight problem with this one. It's a pretty solid list. It's just the matter of, first of all, I know my county only gives me case numbers. They don't give me addresses. They don't give me parcel IDs or anything like that. All they give me is case numbers, so I'd have to individually go through each divorce and with the legal side of things and figure out what the address of the property, or find out how I can contact the owners of basically a house in the divorce sense, or like see if the divorce has a house they want to sell. So it's a lot of work. And then on top of that, I know in my county, which I imagine majority of states in the US can't do this, but if kids are involved, then they can't give out the information on that divorce because it's more sensitive information. And so you may not be able to get all the divorces inside of your state. So just understand that principle as well. And then on top of that, another good one is the arrest list. So basically people that have been arrested like recently, and obviously some of these people own a house and maybe they're in there for 20 years, 50 years, life, who knows? And they own a property and they can't do anything about it. Like they still, something's going to happen to this house. They can't pay for it anymore. They're out of there. There might be a motivated seller. So this is a good list. It's obviously you're dealing with a different crowd. Same with like the probates list. The probates people are in kind of more of an emotional state, but same as the arrest list. This one's obviously you're dealing with different people than majority of the other motivated sellers. So if you're willing to work with these people, obviously there's a big reward that's involved, and not too many people work with this list. So the arrest list is another solid list that you can work with. Just be aware of the people that you're working with, obviously. And so another one is the code violations list. All of these lists that I've said, except for like the equity list. You can just go in and get it from your county. So the code violations, basically, these are houses that have some sort of code violation, whether like the grass could be too tall, like it's hazardous, it looks ugly on the outside, it has a bunch of trash in the yard or something like that, or maybe there's some pipes sticking out of the ground. Who knows? There's like, basically, if it goes against the code violation, these people could possibly be motivated sellers, and because like they can't afford to take care of some of the stuff going on inside of the house. And so this is another list you can get from the county. You can get it and try to cold call or direct mail like every other list and try to get in contact with these people. So that leaves us with 2 more lists. These are the like top secret lists that a lot of people, if you ever hear people talk about secret lists, this is probably what they're talking about. I know I was kind of hesitant to make a video on this and talk about these lists, but I decided to put this out there just because I have come across and I've seen other people put it out there. And since I've already seen other people put it out there, it wasn't that big of a deal to me to put it out there. So, but they're pretty hard to find, to be honest, the right sources out there that are on the public internet that's kind of giving this out there. This is kind of more of like a low-key type of list and everything. So they're pretty easy to hit, but I just wanted to give it out there. So make sure you guys share this video for me revealing this part. Share it to everybody. And make sure you subscribe and like the video as well. And drop a comment down below of sorts. So these lists are, first of all, one of them is known as the unknown equity list. And so what the unknown equity list is the same as the equity list, but if you go on listsource.com, there's this little tab that, like, if you pick the equity percentage, there's a tab that says unknown equity. And with this list, it's basically like untouched, because everybody always does like a certain percentage inside the equity. And basically what the unknown is basically ListSource doesn't know how much equity is in the property. And a lot of these properties, no one is getting in contact with. They don't know about these properties. And so this is a highly motivated sellers list, at least concentrated wise, because like I said, nobody's really touching it. It's usually a little bit bigger of a list, probably about the size of a tax delinquency, maybe a little bit bigger. So it's obviously a lot harder to work with, but with it, it's pretty untouched. And so unless this video has hundreds of thousands of views, nobody's really like even me putting this out there. Not like, if you're in your county, I recommend that you pull this list if you can afford to pull it. With it, like I said, it's going to be a few thousand, maybe even tens of thousands, depending on the size of your county. But it's a pretty solid list. Nobody touches it. And so now this next list, it's a super motivated list, super small. So you're going to want to jump on this one pretty quickly, or just go out there and just try it. It's going to be a free list. It's given out by the county, or not necessarily the county. It's I'll tell you what it is, and you'll know who to go to for this one. But what this list is, I really recommend that you go get it right away. It's free, and you may even want to door knock this list, but you can still try to cold call it and direct mail it. So this one is known as the water shut-off list. This one, I've been asked by people, definitely since I've had a personal brand, not to share this list, but I've seen it out there. I've seen other big names talk about it. It's just you have to find their one specific video out of hundreds of videos. So I'm putting it in this video. The water shut-off list. And what the water shut-off list is, people that have had their water shut off recently. So basically, they can't pay for the water bill anymore. And if they can't pay for the water bill, obviously they're going through some sort of financial hardship, or they're having some sort of problems going on with their finances. And so these are motivated sellers, whether it be like some sort of landlord that the tenants just aren't paying the water bill anymore. Obviously, that's going to be a rise for some motivation, and they're going to be motivated to sell their house at a discount, the landlord, or it could be someone that just owns their property themselves, and they could be motivated as well. If they can't pay for the water bill, they probably can't pay for the mortgage or the electricity bill, or the list goes on. And so with this, that's another high one. Just thinking off the top of my head, actually, I bet you could find like a electricity shut-off list or something like that, a utility shut-off. But that one, I don't know, actually. I recommend you guys go try it and let me know if it works out in the comments down below. I'm actually curious about that one. I just now thought of it. So anyways, yeah, go just start talking to people, find out where you can get it. The county may give it to you. If not the county, then I forget what they call it, but each individual, like, just try to talk to your water company, whoever you pay the bills to, and see if you can get this list from them. But it's super highly motivated, super effective, super concentrated. It's basically this one, you have to talk to less people and you do more deals with it. So, okay, so now that I've given you guys all of the different lists, now I'm going to teach you all the tricks that you can do with these lists. So first of all, a lot of these lists that you can get from the county, if they tell you no, that they don't have that, or they have no idea, or they can't get you that, what I recommend is that you keep going back in there at least between like 5 to 7 times. Why 5 to 7 times? I don't know. It's just been the magical number. And for some reason, just how it's all set up, it's just all screwy. And the last time I went to the county, what I did, I had to talk to like 8 or 9 different people. I would go in, they would send me to somebody else. They'd be like, all right, go to the ticket, get this ticket, go talk to this person. They had no idea, like, nobody knew each other's like kind of domain or anything. They just said, go grab another ticket. And eventually they just kept sending me back to the ticket booth back and forth. And eventually I found the person for just about every single one of these lists on the every single one of these lists that's on the list of lists that I gave you guys today. But recommendation, just keep going in, keep going back, asking. Someone will direct you in the right way, and you can get information, bits and pieces for each one of these. And sometimes it's a scavenger hunt, or who knows, maybe you get lucky and the first person you talk to is like, here you go, here's the list. So I recommend you just keep going in, find the helpful person, and when you go in there, let them know that you're just trying to help people out. You're trying to get people to help them pay their taxes off, and get more money back to the county, and just help people out of their circumstances, out of their situations. As long as you make it seem like you're just helping people out, which is what my goal is whenever I'm wholesaling houses, then they are more willing to help you out, and just be very more like open-minded, trying to learn more about the system so that way you can help people out, and you should be good to go. If you have any problems with this, like I said, just keep going back in and maybe try a different approach or something like that and get these lists. Unless they straight up tell you, hey, the list is $500, or something along the lines of, hey, we don't carry that. Like, you can't get that list. It's all private info or something like that. But just keep trying, and eventually they will get it to you. Now, there's also a couple other tricks so that way you can make sure that you are getting the hot, motivated sellers that are going to sell their property at a discount. So there's 2 different ways. The first way is what you can do is take all these lists. Let's say that you get each of these lists. I didn't count how many I showed you guys today. Let's say 8 different lists, and with all these 8 different lists, put them all into different Excel spreadsheets. And then what you can do is search for the duplicates in each of these lists. And the more duplications, let's say you have 8 different lists. If someone's on every single list on this list, then obviously they're going to be a super motivated seller. Super motivated. So you can rank everybody and give someone a rank as to how many times they were in these duplicate lists. And once you do that, with the super high up list, you're going to want to try to like do whatever you can to get a hold of these people. Go knock on the door. Go try to find their information, like call them 1,000 times. Go try to talk to their neighbors. Do everything that you can to get a hold of this person. And maybe even try to find where they work and try to call their work or something. I don't know. Just do whatever you can to call these people. They're going to be super motivated. You're going to be doing deals off of these houses. And then obviously as the list goes, if they're on like 2 different lists or 3 different lists, these ones are pretty motivated as well. So do whatever you can to get a hold of them, send them direct mail, call them, go knock on their door, whatever it takes. And that's how you're going to go out there and guarantee yourself a deal basically with these lists. And so now there's another trick. If you have to if you have limited resources and you want to get the hottest sellers on your list, if you're going to be doing direct mail, getting the phone numbers off these lists for skip tracing purposes, or if you're even just buying a list off of, let's say that you have to buy a list off of list source, then what I recommend is you do this thing called a hot zip code trick. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into list source, and basically you can go in there. Maybe I'll just put a video down below. Maybe I should be able to get it to you, or you can just Google it. But just look up hot zip code from wholesaling list or something like that, and it should come up. If not, if I don't have it in the description down below, maybe I have to make a video in the future. But basically, you just find the hottest zip codes where most of the deals are being done. And with this list of hottest zip codes, you only pull those lists. You only mail those lists. You only call the people in those zip codes. And this is where majority of the deals are being done. And with that, you can kind of guarantee yourself that you will find a buyer because there's a lot of transactions happening inside of these zip codes. So there's a little bit more demand for these zip codes versus the other ones, and you're not getting some sort of like outskirt house that it's going to be super hard to find a buyer. Now, obviously, if you have a bigger budget, more time to work with, then it doesn't really matter. But this is for those of you that have a super slim budget, only have a few $100s or maybe even just $1,000 to work with. This is what I recommend. Depending on your county size, obviously, if you're in a bigger county, you'll definitely want to do this. If you're in a smaller county, maybe not so much. But anyways, that's a crazy trick. Honestly, just combine all this with you guys, and I just wanted to give it all away. This is the gold nugget that some of you guys are looking for. I know I get asked this question at least minimum like once a week, but it seems like 4 times a week or something like that, or 4 or 5 times. So I knew there was some demand in this video. Please make sure that you share this video for me at least. That's my one request. I'm not trying to sell anything in here with you guys. I wanted to give this all away for free. I know I'd have no idea how long this video will be able to stay up. Like I said, this video might upset a few people out there that sell you the ability to get this information, and I just wanted to give it out for free. And part of the reason why I'm willing to give this away as well is because I know that everybody's not going to take action on this, and I know like out of like 1,000 people watching this, I imagine 2 or 3 of you guys will, or girls, and those are the people I'm trying to help out. So this information doesn't mean anything unless you take action on it. So if you want to have results, you want to have success, take action on what I just gave you, and you will be able to go out there and do some deals off of this information. So anyways, if you guys have any other questions, just look it up on my YouTube channel. I've probably answered it. We have over 200 videos on this channel of just purely wholesaling videos and other information, knowledge-based videos as well. So if you haven't already, join the fam, join the gang by hitting the subscribe button down below. That's all I ask for after making this video, and share the video. And then on top of that, smash the like button if you want to see more videos just like this one. And so anyways, like always, I am uploading every single day. So I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.